Stat 7 Acres here. We got a new podcast. We're gonna start up a new podcast. We got some topics. There's a terrorist. There's authorities arrested suspected terrorist who was released after illegal border crossing, and then we'll talk about the hardships. And
we're going to talk about the hardships of the administration that we are currently under right now, that had sapped every red cent out of our family. Yeah. Literally. Like, we went from having money saved up
to spending pennies.
Right. It's something that really made a difference for me. The way I look at politics in general. I grew up pretty much on the left side, and it's not the same left as what I know it as.
Yeah, so we're gonna start off with the topic about the terrorist that got caught in New York, which committed a crime in Texas, and this was a terrorist. This wasn't a.
Hold on. Just keep going though.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't just a normal person. It was a terrorist. It says, Border Patrol disclosed Tuesday afternoon that police had rearrested an unnamed man. There's only a mic chart looking for it. In New York borough of Brooklyn, after it had allowed him to remain in the United States following his illegal entry into Texas.
I had to get my on tube that. I'm sorry for interrupting, but this is what keeps me sane. And I enjoy it. I really enjoy it for instead of chewing. I used to chew, but
the patrol chief, Jason Owens, who is the Border Patrol, he said a multi-agency effort led to the arrest of a South African national and suspected terrorist in Brooklyn, New York. Initially detained in Texas for criminal trespassing, and based on information available at this time, the individual was released. Further subsequent investigation revealed a positive match on the terrorist watch list, prompting swift action by USBP agents and personnel at the National Targeting Center. Thanks to the coordination of multiple agencies, this potential threat was located, taken into custody, and is now pending removal.
From what I understand, and this is what I know to be true, we need to have those borders secure. People are dying by the hundreds of thousands a year from, how many people die from, can you Google it, how many people die from overdoses a year from fentanyl? And when we get to talking about that, then it starts hitting me that they're just trying to thin the herd out, and that really upsets me. What do you think about that? I mean, that's one of those things where I'm just like, I'm scared. I live in a rural community.
In 2022, 73,654 people died from a fentanyl overdose in the U.S., more than double the amount of deaths from 3 years prior in 2019. And the president in 2019 was Trump, so he closed all the borders. There was also, there's this. In the years leading up to the Biden terrorist arrest, remained in the single digits annually, including 0 in 2019. In fiscal 2024, which ended in September this year, 103 people on the terrorist watch list were apprehended by Border Patrol. The Biden administration has maintained that Border Patrol screens and vets those who come into custody, but in this case, a database checked on the unnamed, which I think is funny because it says unnamed, but they had him on this watch list, so they know the name. They just won't say who it is.
Yeah, to me that's a little bit chicken. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
The chief said also that they did not disclose why the individual was released before the results of the FBI check were received. That's what Owens said.
Right. So they wait, and then they find out that he's a major felon, right?
Yeah.
So that's just not safe to me. And we go back to this administration, the Biden, and I say, I'm just really disappointed. Like, I wish he would have brought people together. That would have been nice. But now we got the open borders, unfettered, and we're gonna be looking at it as a potential terrorist
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah, there's a graph right here, and it's 2001 to about 2010. And this is how many Americans have died from terrorist attacks since 9/11. So 2001 to 2010, it's about 4,900.
Wow,
That's America.
that's an
people
all-time
that
high.
died.
Is that an all-time high?
No.
Oh.
From
Oh,
2011
okay, so
to
it's been on the
2014.
downfall, but we're still letting
Yeah,
more people
2011 to
in. And this is off of
2014.
Google.
This is off of USA Facts.
Okay, so we don't know if that's a right or left.
Yeah.
So
So
potentially we're
2011
going down, but they haven't did anything
Yeah.
serious.
from 2011 to 2014, it went up from 4,900 to about 14,800. And that's just in over 3 years.
Yeah.
And then it started going downfall, and it went to 2018. So about 2015 to 2018, it went from 14,800 down to about 6,500. So that's a big drop. And when was Obama in office?
Well, let's not even worry about like Obama. Let's worry about this administration. This administration has sapped everything out of our family. I mean, any savings we have more credit cards now, and we've already had problems. But we were on with the first Trump administration, we were on the rise. So, that's
yeah.
to me that is an indicator of how people in my class are not able to benefit,
Yeah. And
bad car accident, Social Security, and I did nothing but struggle since
Yeah.
this administration went in.
And that's all. That was on that story. But people, they were but like CNN doesn't have that story. I don't know if they're gonna
Right.
bring it out now.
Yeah,
I think
don't
they
have that
said it
story.
was Tuesday. Last Tuesday. I'm gonna see if that
What's today's date?
is 17th.
Okay, so it's almost Christmas.
Yeah, it was
shout out to Peyton.
This was Tuesday afternoon that the police had re-arrested. So they already arrested this person before, and they just re-arrested an unnamed man in New York. That sounds sketchy.
Yeah, I don't know what
And this was Washington Examiner.
And that's probably I
And
don't.
Fox.
Well, look and see if the Washington Examiner is conservative, because they seem not to like us conservatives. All we really want to preach is common sense. That's the most important thing. The PBD name, valuetainment, means a lot to our
Okay.
family. We wish we could afford the hats. We wish we could afford
All that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is what the Washington Examiner said. Content and editorial stance. The Examiner has been described as and is widely regarded as conservative. When Anschutz started it in its daily newspaper format, he envisioned creating a competitor to the Washington Post with a conservative editorial line.
Okay, so they're probably about as conservative as we are.
Maybe.
Well, they could be a little bit left, but hopefully they just leave in the whole.
They said.
God. The God part of it is the most important thing, to believe in Heavenly Father.
Yeah, they said that our core principles are independence, transparency, fairness, thorough reporting, and clear writing. Thorough reporting and clear writing. So they're conservative, but maybe. Yeah, but I remember when Trump was in office, Mom was making what, $40,000 a year. Her salary was $40,000 for that year.
Right.
And we were paying off bills, food, and we still had hundreds of dollars left over. And when Biden got into office, we were making double, and we still can't afford anything. We're buying stuff with pennies.
Right. But that's to be expected out of the working class that get hurt.
Yeah.